Good morning and welcome to Morning Coffee, Massage Marketing and Business Building. I'm Susan Bell and I am here to share with you something I learned in French class. I took French in junior high and high school, and one of the things that the teacher impressed upon us was the value of repetition. She said when it comes to our short-term memory versus our long-term memory, we have to repeat the same thing the same way 32 times to move it from short-term memory to long-term memory. This is why when we like, oh, I need milk at the grocery store and also something odd like light bulbs, you get to the store and you're like, oh, it was milk, because milk is every week, right? Or twice a week. How many times do you buy light bulbs? So if you only thought about it once or didn't write it on a list, you get there and you're like, what was it? What was it? What was it? What was it? Because you're not putting that in your longer term memory. We all know we get what at the grocery store? Milk, bread, eggs, right? Milk, bread, eggs, and whatever your consistent things are. So the things we do consistently are the things that move from short-term memory to long-term memory. So this is a consistent factor in everything we do. So if you're excited about getting out there and marketing, or like me trying to get to the gym, and I don't do this 32 times in a consistent manner, then I am not going to be able to make that part of my long-term memory. So especially when it comes to talking to your clients, if you're not talking to your clients 32 times in a consistent manner, then you're not going to have that flow. It's not going to feel normal, and it won't be normal. So a lot of times when it comes to saying the right thing to the right people, you need to practice that. Even I'm not a mirror person, so I would never suggest looking in the mirror. But if you're in your car, just kind of talk to yourself and imagine saying to that client, lower back pain, and then have what in your mind, what it is that you talk about lower back pain or headache, and have what you say about headaches. Add into that, when would you like to rebook? And just practice saying it 32 times. So in a month, if you did it once a day and you spent 5 minutes just practicing what you say to your clients, in a month, thereabouts, right? You would have that built into your memory, and that script will flow. This is what happens to me, and because I've built this over years, I can pretty much on the spot, whatever the client walks in with, I have built-in scripts in my head of what I've said over 32 times in the course of whatever, to get to those pain points and then make that conversation flow. So yes, while you're doing it at first, it feels kind of awkward. But when you get to the 5th time, the 10th time, the 15th time, it comes automatically. So I would say pick a topic, whatever it is, whatever modality you're good at, and you have to do it with your modalities too, because people are going to ask you, well, what's myofascial release? Because it's not in your long-term memory. So what is myofascial release? You should be able to rattle that off. And if you can't, then you need to build a little paragraph and read that aloud every day as if you were reading it to someone else. If you have a cat, my cat's MIA, or I would read it to her. I would say, hello, kitty. Myofascial release is about blah, 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 and just rattle off what it is. The cat doesn't care. You could talk to her every day. Talk to the dog. It doesn't matter who you talk to. Make it real, and it'll move from your short-term memory into your long-term memory, and then you can extract it as you need it. So I would say for every modality that you're really good at, you should have a 1-paragraph description of it. And then also how you would combine those for a specific issue. So if I came to you with migraines and I said, how would you resolve these migraines? You could, in your head, you would say, well, I would use, trigger point. I would use deep tissue. I would use cranial. Well, what are those things? I mean, I know deep tissue, but I don't know what, trigger point and myofascial release or whatever you're talking about. And you could say, well, yeah, of course, because, as this builds up and that builds up, and then you go into these things. So you need to be able to communicate your skill on an effective level. So I want you to think about that and practice that once a day. So, if you're in the car and stuck in traffic, pull out your planner where you've written your paragraph and just read it aloud in the car where you're stuck in traffic. Read it into your phone. Call your spouse and go, today we're going to talk about Swedish massage. And he'll be like, oh, geez, Lord. Make it fun and know your skills and know your business, and that will convey on a very flowy, natural level. So 32 times is the secret, according to my French teacher. I guess she knew what she was talking about because I took it in high school and I still know un petit. So anyway, that's what I have today. Have a great day. Drink some coffee and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.